Fan.
Want to chime in on what's happening with your favorite KFAN program? Well, make your voice heard on the Bradshaw and Brian text line. Let us know what you have to say by texting your message to 64686. That's 64686. Standard message and data rates apply.
Couple 13-14 past hour number 3 of the Common Man program on a Wet Blanket Wednesday. I'm Comedy's Kennedy. The legendary Mark Rosen joins us now. Dateline, Associated Press, Dateline, New York. Ted Turner, the brash and outspoken television pioneer who created a media empire and transformed the news business by creating CNN and introducing the 24-hour cable news cycle, died today at 87. Turner was the force behind Cartoon Network, TNT, and Turner Classic Movies, but his interests expanded far beyond media, owning professional sports teams in Atlanta in huge chunks of the American West, fueling conservation efforts through habitat restoration and endangered species work. He donated a stunning $1 billion to United Nations charities. He raced yachts as well,
sure did,
winning the America's Cup in 1977. Turner married actor Jane Fonda in 1991 when he was named Time Magazine's Man of the Year. By then, he was a celebrity in his own right, earning the nicknames Captain Outrageous and the Mouth of the South. He once bragged, "If only I had a little humility, I'd be perfect." He was slowed in later years by Lewy body dementia. Long since out of the TV business, he concentrated on philanthropy and has more than 2 million acres of property, including the nation's largest bison herd. Dead at 87, Ted Turner, your thoughts?
A visionary in a lot of ways. You just recited just a part of his astonishing resume. I mean, for everything that he was involved with, and obviously starting, at that time, CNN starting in a cable news, no one had ever heard of watching news 24 hours a day. It just wasn't a part of our routine, of our culture. And I think a lot of people felt
when people ate it up.
They did.
I did. I mean, you kind of liked it. You could turn on the TV anytime, day or night, and you could watch. Now, a lot of it was just recap.
Yeah, especially in the early years,
right? But it was still it was amazing.
I remember he came to town. I got a chance to interview him, and
you did?
Yeah, I did, and it was and people have imitated Ted Turner over the years, and he sounds like a guy that I don't know. It would be delivering your pizzas or something. He had that, that kind of, that drawl of his. And
he had a little bit of a drawl, you say?
Well, just kind of I don't know if that's a drawl is even the right word, but, his phraseology and the way he put sentences together and the way he would speak. But man, he was an interesting guy, and it was a thrill to interview him. I can't remember why he was in town, why he got a chance to interview him. But
are you sure he wasn't interviewing you?
No.
Because that's what I would have thought.
No, I was definitely interviewing Ted. I mean, I know we had like 15 minutes with him or whatever. He was a very charming guy, but you just said it. I mean, association with sports and entertainment and philanthropy, everything that he did. But I think he'll be remembered for a couple of things. First of all, starting cable news network and then marrying Jane Fonda. So, I mean, he was a character.
And his philanthropy, too.
Absolutely.
Donated plenty of money.
Yeah, he was as big as it got in the business, and he'll definitely be remembered for all those things and then some.
Sorry, it's all
right.
I'm trying to reboot Hip Cricket. Speaking of rebooting, I think the Wild might need a swift kick with a hockey skate. They lose last night, 5-2. They, I think it's fair to say their back is now against the wall. They gave up a goal, first shot. Gustafsson starts in the nets. There were some that questioned that, including Tenneby, the Jolly Green Giant, questioned that decision.
Rightfully so.
Gives up a goal on a pretty soft shot. Second goal was, I don't think anybody could stop that, not even Kenny Dryden in his prime.
Yeah, Landeskog on the power play.
Third goal was a little soft, and they ended up losing 5-2. Your thoughts?
Well, again, they got behind the 8 ball in a hurry, and I think that was the thing. If nothing else, the Wild needed to get off to a good start. And Kaprizov scored 6 seconds after Colorado had taken a 1-0 lead. So you thought, okay, here we go. Maybe we're going to have one of those games like we had the first game.
I predicted 18-12 was going to be the final. They were going to double it.
Looked like it.
And they were going to call the game the War of 18-12.
That's pretty good. We're not even 3 minutes into the game. It's already 1-1, thinking this can't happen again. But it just, the Wild seemed to be, just running out of fumes. And I think part of it is, and you guys have talked about it, missing. They can't afford to miss the two key elements that they have in this hockey team that would help potentially, and I use the word potentially, slow down Colorado's, lightning fast offense.
Well, so we just going to keep excusing them then? It's somebody needs to step up then.
Well, they're trying. I just don't think they're not as good. I mean, as Colorado what this team needs, thankfully, because Grand Casino Arena is booked. I think the Frost are playing again. They get themselves some well-needed time off.
That's actually not why they did that.
Why did
the Frost?
They do that?
I don't know. It's just the NHL decided, but the NHL decided their games first before the Frost decided.
Oh, okay, well, good point.
Yes,
but it could.
The Frost went into triple overtime last night.
They lost. I think,
Should they?
In fact, the Frost are actually going back-to-back games because of the lack of schedule.
Because that was 3 overtimes, should they have just stayed there, re-Zamboni the ice, and just played this game 3 right away, or whatever game it is?
They basically played a game 3, yeah.
Yeah, they did. But yeah, this team is in desperate need of some oxygen, as they say, and not just the altitude in Colorado, but I think more importantly, just kind of collecting. I mean, after a really tough series, we can go down and break it down any way you want. Obviously, Colorado had a very easy time with the Kings. They didn't even break a sweat sweeping them. They had plenty of time off. The Wild went from a pretty, intense series with Dallas right into the Colorado series on the road. We've been down this road before, and I was going back to 2003 when they fell behind 3-1 to the Avs and came back and won the series. There's a history here that the Wild have come back against this team in dire situations. So obviously, Saturday night, which is their next game, is kind of, as they say, do or die. They have to win that game. They have any shot at it, and then you give them new life. But they just have to find a way, and it's just it's difficult because the big guns have to continue to play at the highest possible level. Their defensemen are getting gassed. I mean, they're going after physically. Bosberg was really upset. He wanted him to go after. Yeah, he wanted the Wild to start taking shots.
That's not the Swedberg I know.
No.
I've never heard him say that.
Go after McKinnon because he took a shot at Boldy and knocked him out, knocked him down. And
that's what makes hockey a bad sport.
And, I mean, it's, you don't want to go head hunting.
Yeah, well, one cheap shot begets another head. And that's why when that starts happening, that's when I tune out, dropping the gloves and fighting.
Yeah, they weren't doing that, but there's just a lot of.
No, I know, but eventually that will come to that.
Well,
there were punches thrown last night. The referee there were punches thrown, Mark. A referee got hit in the face.
And then Boldy got hit, and somehow they didn't get a penalty.
Right, exactly. I know you're saying there wasn't an actual, let him fight, but that's still fighting. There were punches thrown. It's ridiculous.
Well, that you can analyze that 100 different ways. I don't disagree with you. I find, a lot of that stuff. But at the same time, I said McKinnon went after the two guys that beat him in the Olympics, Boldy and Quinn Hughes. And Quinn Hughes has been taking a beat. They had a game plan, certainly, to get him off his game and be as physical as possible with Quinn Hughes, and they've been pretty successful at it.
So looking back, we should have wished that McKinnon would have hit that empty net in the gold medal match, and Canada would have won, and then he wouldn't have been taking it out on our guys.
Yes, that's exactly that's insight that brilliant. Thank you.
Someone said when they gave him that little stuffed animal as a consolation prize, like they're giving a toddler from the Olympic Committee. He said from that moment he said he vowed revenge on the guys from the U.S. I don't doubt it. He's a brilliant player, and Colorado's got a great team, but the Wild can still kind of get themselves with the home ice.
You think they can get back into this thing?
Yeah, I mean, of course they can. I mean, they've done it. I said there's a history of exactly this happening.
Do you think they can win the series? Do you think they will win this series?
No.
Oh, because I was about to do bet.
No. I think Colorado's just too good.
Well, let's take a break. When we come back, there is the other men's Major 4 winter sports team. They're doing a little bit better. They're up 1-0. They try to go up 2-0 on the road tonight.
Yes, sir.
We'll talk about that with the legendary one next year on The Fan.
The Fan and BigDeck.com want to give you a shot to win bonus bucks with our national cash contest. Enter the keyword cash at KFAN.com now for shot to win. The keyword is cash. Enter now at KFAN.com. Never miss your chance to know what the latest sports news is in town. Chances to win tickets and knowing what's going on with all your favorite KFAN shows. Follow KFAN 1003 on all of our social channels like Instagram, TikTok, and X now. Stay connected and follow the sports leader, KFAN.
Let me ask you a question. You're a hockey guy. You kind of follow the league pretty closely. Are Manson and Kiravanta playing, or are they out? Colorado.
I don't know about the second guy. Manson has not played yet.
Oh, so a key player missing for Colorado too. So in other words, it's not just the Wild that are missing.
Well, I don't think they're Joel Eriksson,
well, no,
Brodin level of.
Well, but I know, but here's what happens is why can't a team just say, yeah, we're missing a couple guys, but it's next man up and we're not getting the job done and tip your cap to. Everybody has to have an excuse.
I don't know if it's just an excuse. I think it can be both. I think people are acknowledging that Colorado is.
It's not an excuse. It's a reason.
There's a reason why they are the number one team in the NHL, and they're proving it right now. But it's also in order for the Wild in over a 7-game series to equal the playing field, so to speak, missing two key people, that they don't have anyone that can replace them is of course next man up. That's just and Middleton's been playing
let's
a lot.
Hope so.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that's going to end in a positive result. And nor do we say that if Eriksson Ek and Brodin had been playing, that the results would have been different right now. May not have been. I mean, Colorado's that damn good.
No, we would be up 2 games tonight if they were, Mark. It's woe is me, Minnesota. That's what always happens. Speaking of woe is me, they're probably, I don't know what they're thinking in San Antonio, but
the Wolves don't use the injury excuse.
No,
they get guys hurt. They go out and win 2 or 3 against Denver.
That's exactly what they did.
Yeah.
I mean, DiVincenzo's out. Mm-hmm. He's out for the rest of the season. They missed Ant for a while. I mean, and they continue to win basketball
against
games.
Denver was unbelievable.
They play tonight. Again, Abbott's going to give what time? I don't watch
8:30.
8:30 start.
Closer probably to 8:40.
8:40,
8:45, whatever.
Again, until it's an elimination game, you can't really ever say, well, it's a must win. But boy, if you're the Spurs, you were liking your chances going in. You won 60 games during the regular season, and you're thinking, okay, they're a cute club, Minnesota, but we're a team that's on the rise. And they get beat, and now you've lost home court advantage. You lose tonight, it does not look good.
No, it wouldn't, and that's why I think, and Chris, everyone's aware of it. You're going to get the best version of the San Antonio Spurs tonight, especially early in that game. I think they're going to be coming up breathing fire. I mean, it's absolutely going to be a different team, a different look, and I think the Wolves could match that. I mean, they didn't play out particularly well early, but I think low scoring game in the first half, but. San Antonio will have, I think, a much different look tonight. Even they brought in Greg Popovich, the Hall of Fame coach. I guess he had a little film session with the players, and not to step on the toes of their head coach, the current head coach, but he's there, and it's some great matchups. Chris Finch will have all his toys to play with tonight, with Io coming back, and Anthony Edwards. We'll see if he's on a minutes restriction again. He literally played 25 minutes, which apparently was his restriction the other night. But whether he starts tonight.
Well, did you see how clever they were? They saved those 25 minutes for the end of the game.
Well, pretty much. And he was at his best in the fourth quarter. That's why they call him Wolverine. Right?
Well, until he almost threw the game away with a lazy pass.
I put that on Finch, though, for not calling a timeout. But he admitted that. But anyway.
No, see, there you go. Now you want to give an excuse to Ant. As a professional basketball player, you should still be able to inbound the ball.
What's the first thing Ant said in his postgame interview? You know what he said?
What did he say?
He said, I'm mad at myself because I made a couple of really silly mistakes. Some of that may have been fatigue. Some of it may have been...
But just now you just said, I put that on Finch. So you're blaming Finch for the lazy pass.
I'm not blaming him for the lazy pass. I'm blaming him for not taking a time out to kind of gather the troops a little bit and figure out how to get the ball in. And That's all. I mean,
Okay.
if you decide
I know what
to
you're
go
saying,
with
but
Ant,
here, I just have to go the other way. If you don't at this time in your career know how to throw an inbounds ball, you shouldn't be playing NBA basketball.
Well,
throw the ball in.
Yeah,
and admit it. I made a terrible pass. The coach shouldn't have to call it time and go, now, here's how we throw an inbounds pass. I don't think. I mean,
well,
maybe
Finch is
I'm
the
in the
one who said
minority.
it. Finch is the one who said it, that I should have called timeout to just nothing else.
You know what that's doing? It's protecting a star.
No, I don't.
That's what that is. Well, it is. He wants to. He doesn't want people to come down.
I think
on
he's
the
blaming
stuff
himself, actually.
All right.
But anyway, it's going to be interesting to see how his matchups are tonight. With Wemby, they did such a good job, and when they brought Naz Reid, and you're trying to get Wemby obviously out from under the basket. I think he Finch and Scott Foster's the referee tonight, which gives Wolves fans shivers because of Scott Foster's reputation and how he's managed games, et cetera, et cetera.
Do you think then the fix is in? Scott Foster, the Wolves will lose tonight because Scotty Foster will favor the Spurs?
No. I'm not going down that road. That's ridiculous. No, they got to. I think it's gonna take a much better effort by Minnesota to beat them tonight. And if they don't, so be it. They come back home for Friday and Sunday. They play every other day. But I think it's going to be interesting to see, because now that Terrence Shannon has established himself as a kind of a 30 to 35 minute guy who's so productive, Io coming back in the game, and now you got actually Bones Highland's kind of disappeared. He's not playing much. Jalen Clark can give him some defensive help, but it's how they deal with Wemby. That's it. I mean, you want to do what they did the other night. He played 40 minutes, which is really unusual for him. You want to tire the big man out, and he was only 5 for 17 from the field. He had his 15 rebounds and 12 block shots, but he was 0 for 8 from 3-point shot land. That ain't going to happen again. He's a very good 3-point shooter. So, I guess, like I said, you expect to see San Antonio's best version of themselves tonight, and that may be enough. But I think the Wolves are digging in, and they realize that they have a golden opportunity to take a 2-0 lead and going back home.
Are you picking them tonight?
I'm not. You know what? I'm not. No, I'm not even picking the game. I think I said the Wolves are going to win the series. Yeah. I don't. Whatever.
I'm picking the game, and I think they win tonight.
Well, I hope you're right. I'm not picking the game. I could pick a game.
Well, then who are you picking?
I just don't know. I don't really care to. I like the Wolves in the series. It's not about tonight. I mean, it's about the series, and I think Minnesota's going to beat them at home. I think San Antonio will have more trouble here at Target Center, which has been a really difficult place. I think, the San Antonio fans, just my own judgment from watching it on TV the other night, is that things are going well. They, like any other home crowd, get into it. But man, the lulls that they have when things are not, I don't know, maybe they're not used to seeing their team challenged like this because they've had such a good record all season long, especially at home. But it's a great series. I mean, they're fun team to watch. I'm talking about the Spurs, that they have the combination with De'Aaron Fox. I think he's going to play a lot better tonight. He only scored 10 points the other night. He's lightning quick, and he's, they got their hands full with him, and I think he'll play better.
Sounds like you're picking the Spurs.
And, but I think the big thing is, no, I'm not necessarily. I think they should be, they're double-digit favorites tonight, which is kind of crazy, but that's the way that it goes. I think the key thing for Minnesota, again, keep Jaden McDaniels as aggressive as he is on defense, and he's playing so well defensively. He's been getting into early foul trouble at times, and you don't want your best defender sitting on the bench saddled with 2 fouls in the first quarter, and that's where Jaden's got to show that discipline to pick his spots and be aggressive, but also be smart, because that can change the complexion.
It's like kind of like holding on a racehorse. It's hard to hold him back, man.
It is.
When you want to play defense, that's what he does.
He goes. And like I said, now they have more bullets in the chamber, so to speak, with Io back, and Shannon playing as well. And Shannon has said, he said after the game the other night, Wemby can block me 6-7 times. I'm not going to change who I am. I'm still going to attack the basket, which is refreshing to hear from the young man. He's been a fun surprise to watch in this postseason for sure. And it's also, let's give credit to Mike Conley. I mean, what an amazing story, and he's such a rallying point for that team and the respect that he has in that locker room. And for him to come through what he has and gone through what he has, I mean, I'm not saying they're trying to win it for Mike, but there's something to be said about that. And it's not just a matter of him just being on the team. He knocked down some big 3-pointers, 4 of them the other night, that helped that team get over the hump.
I like Mike. Let's win it for Mike.
Correct.
Let's win it for Mike then. Let's do this. Let's take a break. Come back. Larry Mondello guy weighing in.
No.
Yeah, he's going to try to get you going.
Well, no, that's never happened before.
So we'll take a look at that. We'll talk more about the Wolves in the Wild and a handful of other topics. I want to ask Mark Rosen about some Viking-related stuff. Of course, he's got the inside. He's an insider over there at the new Winter Park, so we'll talk to him about that. Short break, one more segment to go. Common Man program on the Fan. All out of odds?
No, I got one more.
Oh, okay.
Playoff basketball is heating up, and Carboni's Pizzeria wants to fuel your Game 2 watch party tonight. Stop by one of the 30-plus locations, score delicious pizza, and get ready for the playoff grind. Order today at carbonispizza.com.
A couple of text messages that need to be addressed before we move on. It's always a controversial Common Man program. It wouldn't be a Common Man program without controversy. This one says, late to the grum today, so I'm wondering if we are still calling Tina B, or is that bit dead already? No, we can let that run. Somebody had sometimes when you send a text and you do it and you hit the wrong letters, or you do one audio, instead of saying Tina B, it said Tina B. And then someone also suggested they were congratulating me on the feminine touch of the program, Tina B, and then Brianna Oak. So those kinds of things will happen. Yeah. Here's another.
It's funny with the fat fingers sometimes, because the other night I went to write wild, and I forgot the letter D, so it's spelled W-I-L, but it made sense that it didn't have any D.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. Hey-oh! John, the mail carrier, writes, your disdain for the Wolves is tiresome. It's not disdain, it's a love of it. This is called...
the Tough Love Covenant.
Correct. TLC, Tough Love Covenant. It's my deep and unrequited love of this club. And when they play the way I've said nothing but kind words about them today. I was surprised that they could turn it. I still think the idea of playing regular season games with half effort, you're cheating the ticket buyer out locally. I just don't think that's right. But I guess what they thought is, we were in the Western Conference Finals 2 years in a row. Got to the door, knocked to the door. We want to kick it in. We don't want to have to go through this 82-game schedule again. We know we're going to make the playoffs, but we have to do it. So they do it, and sometimes they're just not up for it. But now they dispatched Denver. They're up 1-0. So I guess it's better to see them playing really well in postseason than regular season, or giving 100% effort.
There's a unique aspect of, when you play an 82-game schedule and the owners want to make obviously as much money as possible. The players are trying to benefit from it, and you have load management issues constantly, even though the commissioner's trying to avoid some of that when you're, the paying public and you're going to these games and like be going when San Antonio would come to town and they'd say Wemby's out because he played the night before and they're not going to play him. Well, this is, maybe the one chance you had to see him. And I'm saying heartbreaking, but it's really disappointing when things like that happen, as much as perceived lack of effort that we see certainly by every team in the NBA over the course of time. But you just basically saying, well, we'll just wait till April. I mean, that's kind of the way it does figure out, other than maybe OKC.
And we just have to accept it, I guess, right?
Well,
I don't know
what the option is.
Don't go to games.
Well, that you could try that, yeah.
Well, that's not making. No, I don't think that not going to games will then make them go, we better start trying. It's just like,
no, it won't.
If I'm going to pay money, a lot of money, it's expensive to go to a game. I want to see a full 100% effort. If I'm not going to get it, I'll just watch on TV instead. That's what I'm saying. If you're a fan, because there's nothing you can do about it.
No, and yet you're kind of over a barrel, because unlike, the NFL, when you got how many home games?
8, 7 or 8.
That's it. And every one has, special meaning. When you're playing 41 home games and, they're playing, Atlanta on a Tuesday night in the middle of December, you're probably not going to get the best results.
Well, we've seen that over and over again. This one said, I would pay some big money if you two could go 1 hour without arguing. My response was, how much money? He said big money. Tell me how much.
Let's
what
name
is
a price.
Big money?
Yeah.
Throw the money out there.
Well, and
then I said, I said, one man's arguing is another man's debate. We're having a healthy debate. If you say something that I disagree with, I'm going to go, no, wait a minute. And if you hear something, we're going to say, wait.
Does he want us just to go 100% calm and I agree with you?
Well, of course not.
You have to have a healthy respect for everybody's opinion. It's not like we're screaming at each other.
You have to have a healthy respect for everybody's own stupid opinion. I mean, for everybody's opinion.
Like Larry Mondello guy.
Well, speaking of Larry Mondello guy, he says, I would love to have Rosen as my boss. All he does is make excuses for poor and lazy performances. If he was the maintenance supervisor for the Maple Grove Park District, he would have said it's just fine that Tenna only did 5 hours of work in an 8-hour workday because the headlawn mower Bob had a lower body injury.
What is he talking about? They're making excuses for who?
Well, you were making it for Ant.
For Ant what? That he came back? I don't even understand that.
Well, no, Ant basically... He threw a lazy pass. You said it was on the coach, and he's saying you're making it.
No.
As a boss, he'd like to have you as a boss, so you would just make an excuse for him.
No, and it wasn't an excuse for Ant. I said right away, the first thing he said after the game was, "Man, I got to get a lot better. I made some really bad plays." Part of it may have been that he was winded. I mean, that he wasn't, he didn't have his feet under him and didn't have his brain working right at that particular time. But no, I mean, 100% it was a bad pass. He admitted it. But I also think the coach should have called the timeout, and so did Chris Finch. That's all. No big deal.
Yeah. Well, I still think Finch said that just because coaches will do that oftentimes. That's on me. It's on me. It's on me because this way they don't want.
Well, I mean, he definitely.
Let's face it. With social media, players get a lot of heat now, especially when people are losing money. People get really crazy because they're betting.
Oh, of
and
course
some guy misses a couple of free throws, and suddenly it gets so. As oftentimes a coach, I think, will.
Finch has been around the block long enough, so he already planted the seed tonight about Wemby's goaltending calls that weren't called. I mean, he said at least 4 or 5 of them. Yeah. That's planting the seed in Scott Foster's mind and the other officials tonight to say, keep an eye on this, because as proficient as he is and as absurd a shot blocker as Wemby is and an athlete, you still have to watch for the goaltending, and that's what he's trying to do tonight. He's playing that game, and let's see if it pans out for him tonight.
Let me see if this was a here it is, Fish Wrap Factory West Side. Mm-hmm. It talked about they have video proof that 4, maybe 5, even 6 should have been called goaltending. Yep. But then what I find out is, and then Gobert said, I wish I had that type of treatment too. He was a big presence. But then here's what it goes on to say. They didn't give up after a number of those blocks. Looking at the box score, the Wolves recovered 5 of those blocks and it led to 6 second chance points. Mm-hmm. 3 of those coming on a key Mike Conley corner 3-pointer to put the Wolves up 9 in the fourth quarter. 2 of those extended possessions also resulted in fouls for guard. The cast, is it Stefan or Steven? Do you know? I don't know how to pronounce it. Who eventually fouled out. So in other words, by not calling those plays, it actually benefited the Wolves by a point, and it fouled a guy out.
And in watching Wemby, I mean, really watching him as long as we got a chance to watch him the other night. And again, I obviously, like everybody else, if you're an NBA fan, you've seen a lot of highlights of him, but I don't watch a lot of San Antonio Spurs basketball. He is so bleeping tall and rangy and athletic that I can understand why the officials get fooled by it, because his hand is up, like in the middle of the backboard. So you can't really tell sometimes. He got his hand on the ball. It goes off the glass. I mean, and it happens in a split second. And, I don't know if he's going to spend a lot of time. You don't want to use up your reviews and not get it turned over. I think the shot of the night was that 3-pointer that Ant had over Wemby's outstretched arm. I don't know how he got it over his fingertips, but again, I love the fact that the Wolves had this matchup for no other reason than getting the chance to watch Wemby, and he's just a freak of nature. And I've watched NBA basketball for a long time. Never seen anybody like him.
This one says the real question is: has Rosie secured Charlie's tickets for Tenna B and his kids for Friday? Have you done that?
I haven't talked to Charlie.
Can you reach out to him and say, hey, why don't you give Tenna B and his kids put a bright smile on a kid's face and give them a memory that would last forever. You can watch at home or get your media pass. It's no big deal. You've been to Miracle on Ice. You've been to the greatest Game 7 in World Series history. Right. You've got the famous picture of you in the 60s. You've experienced all those things. Give the young kids something.
A lifetime memory for one of my children.
You're 78 years old.
I'm not 78 years old.
How old are you? 74. Yeah. You're 74. You don't need it anymore. I mean,
I plan on watching the games, a lot of them on TV. I'm not in charge of any. I don't know how to break it to you.
Can you just call Charlie?
No, I can't.
Why not?
Because he may have given. I'm not. I don't ever text him or call him about these tickets. I just don't. It's not my business.
Leo's going to be devastated. No. We had tickets coming his way, and now they're not going to attend.
I told him that Uncle Mark was going to get us some tickets.
Uncle Mark. And now you got to tell him that you're not getting him. Uncle Mark couldn't come through. God. Wow. That's really sad.
I have nothing to do with it, so.
All I know is I asked my connection for Frost tickets on Friday, and guess what? I got tickets for the whole family.
Yeah,
there you go.
How that works.
Nice of them to help.
Yeah, they help, but Rosen won't do it. No,
They're not my tickets.
Well, but you could ask.
No, I can't ask.
Well, sure you can.
It's ridiculous.
I will, Charlie. If you're listening, can you give Tenneby and his kids those tickets just for one game? It's one of hundreds of games that'll be played. Okay. I know you know, and you're going to say I don't know, but I know you know. Who will be the next general manager of the Minnesota Vikings?
I can't tell you.
See? Is it Brzezinski? Is he going to get the job?
No.
So you already know who it is?
Well, of course he does.
I don't know who it is.
Do you think Brzezinski will get the job?
I don't think he'll get the job. I love Rob. I just saw him at the Wolves game, the last Wolves game, with a lot of.
Was he courtside with you and Charlie too? Or?
No, he was. I wasn't courtside. I was. Garzi was. I was on the other side.
That's right.
But Rob was there. Listen, if it ends up being, they go through the interview process with all the candidates they're bringing in. And again, the Wilfs issued the statement. And of course, it's never going to hold because people find out through various sources like Alec Lewis, that the Vikings are interviewing this guy from Buffalo who apparently was here years ago as a scout. And, this stuff is going to happen. I don't think it's necessarily going to take a long time. And I think Rob will have his interview. He's happy with where he's at right now. Of course he'd want the job. I mean, after all these years with the Vikings and having, really an exceptional job, especially managing the salary cap, I mean, wonderful for him to get it. I just think they're going to go a different direction. That's just my own personal opinion. I have no inside information about what they're doing right now.
I believe you're right that he won't get the job, and I can tell you why he won't get the job. You don't hire a search firm, DB, GFBI, CIA, turnkey, to have them go, you know what? You had the guy in the building the whole time. Thank you very much. We'll take our $500,000 for searching for you.
Correct.
That's what I think. Now, I could be wrong. It could end up being Rob, and if he gets it, it would be
to emphasize your point, Common, if the Vikings 100% were sold on, and it's not like they're not sold on Rob Brzezinski's talents. Obviously, they love him for so many reasons. But they would have hired him right away. They could have hired him and saved themselves all the trouble of interviewing any candidates if they wanted to name him, and they could have named him even before the draft. But they didn't. Now, I think the longer it goes, obviously, the more people they bring in, I think that's a valid point, that they're going to take advantage of the search firm and bring the people in that they want to interview. And there's some damn good candidates out there, and they'll find their man or woman to hire.
Could Karn be in the mix? We said man or woman.
Well, I mean, there are women in the. I was just reading about the woman. I think the Tennessee Titans. I get the Sports Business Journal all the time. I think she is the CEO of the Tennessee Titans.
You're reading the Sports Business Journal, and I'm reading Weekly Reader.
I love the Sports Journal.
Yeah, I love the Weekly
Business
Reader.
Journal.
I've had a subscription since I was in second grade.
What's the name of it?
Weekly Reader. Don't you remember that when you were a kid?
Yes, I do remember it. I remember.
Since second grade, and I never canceled mine. Highlights is another one, but I had Weekly Reader. And I still have my prescription to it to this day.
Yes, really?
No, of course not.
No. Well, you never know. I don't know. No, I don't think Karn's interested.
Okay.
I wish she would. She'd do a good job.
We talked about this a little bit yesterday, and the Twins won last night. That's a nice effort. Byron Buxton.
Man,
I was talking about this.
I heard you talking about.
I'm delighted for him, really, because again, there's no reason to feel sorry for him. He is a very wealthy man. He signed a $100 million contract, but I tell people all the time that $100 million is like 60 after taxes, and then you've got
family members.
Well, first of all, he's gonna buy himself a car to buy his mom a house.
Right.
Then there's invest, save, use, spend, flaunt. Can you make it last? So there's no reason to feel sorry for him. But, to have the injury-riddled career that he did, and now last year He had a great season, and he played 140 games, was it? 100, you know. And now this year again, has he missed any this year? I can't
Not
recall.
from injury, I don't believe.
Right.
I think they've sat out a game or two. I don't know.
He's off to a really nice start. And
he said, "I want to be a Twin for life." I mean, and in this day and age of where the Twins management doesn't even want people to be Twins for life, it's kind of a blessing to have a guy like that involved and engaged with the franchise, because he's really, as far as an everyday player, since Royce Lewis hasn't materialized the way they thought. I mean, Byron Buxton is the signature player on this team. That's just it. He's their all-star. He's their center fielder. He's the guy that playing, hitting them with power. And the good news also for the Twins, if you're paying attention at all, I mean, it looked like Joe Ryan. I thought he could have been out for the year after he pulled himself out, throwing 7, 8 pitches. I thought it
looked like Tommy John surgery.
It looked like, yeah. And now he's apparently going to start this weekend. So that's good news, because although Taj Bradley pitched a terrific game last night. He's the guy they got in the Duran trade, I believe. And he's been pitching really well. As long as they get their starters to the point where they don't have to rely on their bullpen in the 6th, 7th, 8th innings at least, then they have a shot. That's for sure, because their lineup is starting to come around a little bit. Like I said, they're only 2 games out of first place. They're in last place still.
Objects in the mirror are closer than they appear.
Yeah.
Your Frost Club, they are the only team that can claim to be a world champion in the Women's Professional Hockey League. They won the first 2 seasons. Lose last night. They win. That was game 2, right? Do I have that straight?
Yes, game 2. They won the first one.
First game, and then they lost 1-0 in triple overtime.
3 overtimes. Yeah.
But I like their stick-to-itiveness. If I remember correctly, Tenneby, maybe you can remind me, or Chad Abbott, Kenny can come rushing down to the studio to jump on the mic to admonish me. Didn't they kind of... They weren't playing particularly well to end the seasons, and then they get into postseason.
They weren't, yeah. This year they had the playoffs already clinched, 6 games to go, so it's a little different. Right. I don't really know what to make of their late season slide. But
okay. But the year before,
the previous 2 years, they were basically last game of the year, they were playing to get in.
Yeah, and so they, I know just because it's happened before doesn't mean it's going to happen again, but I think you give them the benefit of the doubt, 1-1, and I like their chances. I'd love to see them three-peat.
Oh, it would be fun. That's for sure. And keep in mind the Lynx, they changed their opening because the Wolves are playing here Sunday night. The Lynx are opening their season Saturday night now.
Saturday night?
Yeah.
Okay.
And without Nafisa, of course, who may be out for quite a while, still recovering from that injury. So they got their highly regarded guard they drafted 2nd overall. And
you like this Lynx club?
Well, they're missing some, again, because of the expansion, they lost some good players. I think it's going to take a while for Cheryl to kind of figure out this new version of what's always been a very competitive team, but especially without Nafisa playing. But they'll still be very competitive. They always are. But the league itself, I mean, the salaries have escalated tremendously, and Caitlin Clark is back and healthy, and that would be a big bonus for the whole league because of the draw that she is everywhere she plays. And, they got some good name recognition. And so I think the league is certainly healthier than it's been in a long time.
I feel bad for Mark having to be in the 3rd row nosebleeds at Target Center. How did he even see the court from there? I bet the players look like ants. I just hope there wasn't a heavy breather with an oxygen tank near him that entirely ruined the experience.
Was that my bit about the movie thing? What was that?
You were at that Chanhassen dinner theater or something.
God, I don't even remember
and somebody had an
that.
Oxygen tank, and you wanted to just squeeze off the air hose.
I was at the Guthrie, I think.
Yeah, you wanted to squeeze off the air hose.
I came real close.
Think about that.
Think how cruel that would have been.
Anything that
don't do that.
Imposes upon you.
I was at a movie the other night. Car and I went to go see a 5:20 show right next door here of The Devil Wears Prada 2, and she's been dying to see, and so we went the other night.
I didn't even see The Devil Wears Prada 1.
Well, you haven't seen The Godfather.
Well, no, I have. Can you give me a...
no, it's the same cast.
Well, can you give me go ahead and spoil it for me. What was A Devil Wears Prada? What was the plot in the first one, and how did it end?
It's going to take away. We don't have that much time from my.
No, I'm talking about the first one.
I know.
Don't spoil the second one. But the first one. What happened?
Meryl Streep plays. What's her name? I can't remember her last name. Who's the?
Is it the person that
from Vogue,
from the Prada company?
Well, no, from Vogue magazine, and she's a hard ass, and she's got that reputation, and And Meryl Streep plays it perfectly, of course. And Anne Hathaway gets hired as her assistant.
Sounds fascinating.
Well, you wanted to be an Italian.
No, I know, but I'm just saying.
No, you wouldn't walk across the street to see it. But it's all fashion, et cetera. Anyway, the point of the matter is, there weren't that many people, they're setting box office records. With this
are they
movie.
really? Okay.
Yeah, they're doing real. Which I'm happy about for no other reason than people at least going back to the movies.
Would you say go see it?
Well,
was it good?
Not for you, but for other.
Well, that's not. Did you enjoy
for a
it enough?
sequel? Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. But there was a family, and we were sitting way on the right side. But again, it was a 5:20 show. This family, and they brought their little kids, and it's just like, you just can't do that in a movie.
Yeah, you can.
No, you can't. Well, you can, but if they start acting up, you got to leave the theater. You have to take them out of the theater.
Weren't you a kid at one time, Mark?
Well, my parents wouldn't take me. I went to go see Spartacus at the St. Louis Park Theater, which was the building itself is still standing there.
Spartacus?
It was a hell of a movie.
It sounds like
Kirk Douglas.
I'd rather go see The Devil Wears Prada, too.
Well, the point of the matter is, one of my pet peeves going to the movies. Again, they were far enough away that it didn't, I didn't have to shush them.
Do what I do. I told my boys, I'll take you to any animated movie you want, but we sit in the back row right side.
Well,
and then you don't.
Your boys, when they were how old? I mean, now or when they were?
No, 4. Well, I don't take them to movies.
No, I know they can go on their own. They got their own girlfriends now. But anyway, no, it was fun. It was a fun movie.
By the way, how was the turkey burger last night?
Pork burger.
Wow,
Fantastic.
Best pork burger you ever had?
Oh,
even better than the one in Tuscany.
Just getting to get the grill going. I didn't have pork burgers in Tuscany.
We'll see you tomorrow too.
We'll be talking about the Wolves win.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
The legendary one, Tenby. Thanks for having me.
Hey, great job.
You as well. We enjoyed our visit. Back tomorrow at 12 noon. Big Ticket, JG. They're next, right here on the Fan.
This is Calabash. Wherever you are.
Timberwolves superfan KFAN Stan Barrero.
Listen back to any of Common Man's programs by podcasting on the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.